final story of the day is about universal healthcare and free healthcare. I want to talk about it. If you're liberal or progressive, hopefully I haven't scared you away with my hilarious humor and joking mentality. But I want to start with this quote, and then just please listen to what I'm saying. Consider it, just like think about it, and if you want to debate me, any top progressive or somebody that's somewhat credible, to be honest, you don't even have to be credible. Just email me. I'll probably have you on. And I'm the only one who's doing this stuff. I mean, I have 250 million views. I've already launched multiple people into like $1 million lifestyles. No offense, I just did. But I'm the only one doing this. No one else will debate you and just have a debate with you and say, oh, I'll let you on my platform. I'll literally have you on my live stream platform to talk about this stuff if you don't agree. And that should show you how confident I am, or at least willing to put my ideals to the test. A lot of people are not willing to do that. Anyway, I'm going to start with a Thomas Sowell quote. This guy is like super smart and always has really good quotes. I'm going to buy his book soon, but Thomas Sowell said, "Many on the political left are so entranced by the beauty of their vision that they cannot see the ugly reality that they are creating in the world." I'm going to say it again because I spent a year in the Bernie Sanders bubble echo chamber. To be honest, I wanted him to beat Hillary really, really bad. It was one of those like, man, I really hope he beats Hillary. Also, thought he was a matrix breaker, thought he was going to stop the wars, thought he was going to crush the two-party system. Me personally, it wasn't his policy that I liked, but I know being in that echo chamber, I know how closed-minded I was when I was there. I didn't want to hear anything outside of it, but I'm going to read that again. We'll get into it because I know this is a little bit of fluff. Emily's really upset. If you guys don't know Emily, she's a superstar. She didn't like my really funny joke at the beginning, so, you know, she told me to hurry up, so I'm purposely slowing down. "Many on the political left are so entranced by the beauty of their vision that they cannot see the ugly reality that they are creating in the world." It's also a way to say, you know, the road with hell is paved with good intentions. You mean well, liberals and progressives mean well, but it doesn't always translate. So why do I feel this way? Universal healthcare, also known as single-payer healthcare. So let's get behind the semantics and the wording around it. It's not coming from the universe. It's just not. It's not universal healthcare. It's not for the whole world or the whole universe. It's not. I mean, it is kind of for the whole world because they're letting illegals get it. So I guess it is kind of worldly healthcare in a way. It's like, come to America. We'll have the citizens pay for you. But it's not universal. It's not coming from the universe. It's American healthcare. Yes, it's single payer. That's accurate. Single payer. One payer. So let me rephrase it in a way and then explain why I feel the way I feel. I call it singular individual mandate. Force your citizens to buy into a one government system that is run by the federal government that you can't opt out of, that has absolutely no competition, and that even if you don't want to buy into it and you want to go through several other routes that you can go through, you can do it. So it's not like free. It's not free healthcare. The citizens are paying for it. It's not Federal Reserve's healthcare. Like I said, if progressives said, you know what, we're going to get this money, we're going to make the banks pay for it or something. I mean, if you had a real solution, but it always comes from the people. And whatever, she who must not be named said it, I'm not going to say her name, but they were like, how much should people in this percentile pay? She said 70%. We're not talking about the 0.0001%, like the 0.1%. This is small businesses. These are people you know that regardless of what you think of how much money they have, you're taking their money and you're giving it to the federal government. Has the federal government ever done anything flawlessly? We have, and please stick around. I'm going to have dozens of reasons that I would love for you to debunk or try to figure out why it makes sense. We have veterans healthcare now that is for veterans. It's not good. It's very, very miserable. There's horror stories of it. It's visible proof that the government doesn't do a good job when there's no competition. I mean, look anywhere. I think even every progressive knows. They know at the bottom of their heart. You could ask probably 95+% of progressive socialists, do you like the government? They would probably all say no. Do you think the government does a really good job of anything? They would probably all say no. Progressives don't like the government. But then I'll be like, do you think that we should cut out all competition, put it in an individual mandate, so if I don't want to buy into it, the government comes and takes my money, and take that whole industry and place it into the hands of the federal government? And they're like, yeah, check mark, yes, yes, yes. It's like, what? Why? I'm trying to figure out, and I'll have a debate with somebody soon, but I had a little mini debate on Twitter. Someone said to me, some woman, very nice lady, she said, well, it's better for you. So we're going to go through all the arguments that they have. It's better for me. So you decide what's better for me. First of all, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm in pretty good shape. I'm very athletic. I'm very healthy. I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate, but also I've worked hard my whole life. I run and exercise a lot, but someone who's way less healthy than me does not get to steal my money and then tell me how to be healthy, that it's going to be better for me. And no offense, I look around at a lot of progressive analysts. I like a lot of them, but they don't look comfortable. They don't look at peace. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to brag, but a lot of people say, Anomaly, you seem so calm. You seem so chill. I am. I mean, I stress out about some things, but generally, I am very calm. I am very chill. It's not a competition, but somebody who's not at peace with themselves doesn't get to steal my money and then tell me what's better for my health. Especially, find me a progressive analyst that's in better physical shape than me. I'm not, once again, it's not a competition. This is not a I'm better than you competition, but I am not asking to steal someone else's money. I'm not trying to infringe upon their lifestyle or their health regimen. But progressives are. They say, no, it's going to be better for you. Trust me. Just give me $6,000 a month. I'll give it directly to the federal government. I'll cut out competition. I'll give you a plan that you're literally never going to be able to use unless something terrible happens. But guess what? I don't like to plan for failure. I don't like to plan for bad things, and they don't happen to me because I don't even let that into my reality. My health regimen is none of your business. Whether I want to give $6,000, $8,000 to the federal government or a health insurance agency, that's my decision. If something bad happens, I have to live with it. But to be honest, at a certain point, why do you think health insurance is such a big industry? If it's a big pot that you pay into, well, we all pay into it, and then we use it when we need it. That's the theory. Why is it a multi-billion-dollar industry? Why is it a successful industry for millions of people? It's because there's a lot of excess money, because you don't just buy into it and it's a pot that everyone uses. You buy into it, they take a lot of money. And I know a lot of progressives, they say, well, no, we're going to cut all that competition out, because that's what the federal government's going to do. Anytime they do anything with war, they take your money and they go over to Iraq and they go over to Syria and they go over to Libya and they do everything totally right. Because when you give all of it to the government, they don't mess up with war and weapons contracts. No, they do it totally right. Anything. Find me something that they're taking the money and they give it to the teachers and the unions and they fix all the roads all the time. Anytime there's a Democrat leader, I don't see the roads being fixed ever. I don't see any of the stuff that they actually say they're going to do. They almost never do it. That's why I like President Trump. It's not because of what he says all the time, although I do thoroughly enjoy what he says. It's because what he does. He's unconventional, but he does what he says he's going to do. He's like the only one who does that. So we know that the government doesn't do that, but you think that they're somehow miraculously, they don't do anything right. First of all, the government lied about health for 3 decades now. You're talking about putting the whole health industry into the hands of people who literally have lied about health for 3 decades. They told you, eat bread 5 times a day. Trust me, look at the food pyramid. Eat a lot of bread, drink a lot of milk. It's not like milk inflames your throat and inflames all of your bodily function and adds mucus, which then creates sickness in your body. Just drink milk 4 times a day, eat bread 5 times a day. What, are you trying to kill me? Tell me to drink bread, drink milk, drink bread would kill you, but telling me to drink milk and bread all day, I've gotten significantly healthier by not drinking milk. I still eat cheese. I'm not a superhuman or anything. I'm pretty unhealthy in many ways. I ate $20 worth of Applebee's yesterday. I'm not proud of it, but we were there. It was late, and boneless wings, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm sorry. But I'm not super healthy, but I've got to the point in my life where I know that milk and bread is not healthy. The government told you it was. And also, so now you're going to put the whole health industry into their hands. They're just pumping kids up with pills, and somehow they're going to do a miraculous job with it, cutting out all competition. I also want to say now, there's now doctors' offices that are popping up because of freedom of choice, free speech, freedom to not go through a single-payer system. They're popping up all over the place where you pay to play. You don't need insurance. You just go to certain offices, and they are like the insurance. It's very innovative stuff. I don't know the name of it, but it's little health clinics that you pay, and then you get to choose what you do. It's like a free society. Whoa, wow, who would have known in America a free society could lead to more innovative health? Yeah, that's what happens when you don't put it in one system, one size fits all, and give it into the hands of the federal government. They're popping up everywhere. Doctors like them more. I've heard the care's way better. I mean, go to health places in LA or California. It's miserable because they're already screwing up. So all of the stuff that I said above, but also I don't want to buy into a one-size-fits-all pot that gives everyone health care. It's not because I don't want everyone to have health care, but hear me out. Health care or health insurance, whatever the heck they call it, whether it's Trump, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, it's not actually making you healthy. It's not preventing you from being sick. I would argue that it actually makes you sick. Everything that they do. If I listened to progressive socialists all day, I mean, I like Jimmy Dore sometimes and Kyle Kalinske, but if I listen to leftists all day, whether it be that or go way worse onto like CNN, MSN, I would be sick myself. And I'm not saying them. I like a few of them, but like if I listened to the news that you guys listen to, I would be sick more. If I ate what they tell you to eat, I would be sick more. If I did what they told you to do, I would be sick more. If I bought into what they promote on Snapchat and Twitter, I would be sick more. So I would argue they make you sick, and then you go to the doctor and they pump you up with pills. What I'm saying is, if you're going to steal my money, progressives, please listen, because you're not going to steal my money. If you're going to steal my money for a one-size-fits-all health system, I want to say in people's health. Now you're forcing me to pay for other people's health, and you're forcing me to go to the government for health. Oh yeah, thank you so much. You helped me so much. And I'm not saying Western medicine isn't good and surgery isn't good. I trust American doctors for that type of stuff. Thank you guys so much. I'm not like a crazy kook or anything, but if you're stealing my money for the big health system, I get a say in people's health. And guess what, Nancy? You're not allowed to eat $50,000 dollars worth of delivery food a month, and then use, $20,000, $30,000 worth of health care because you're not healthy. Ooh, I have free, yeah, because you don't take care of yourself. And United States has an obesity problem. We have an opioid problem. To be honest, a lot of people don't take care of themselves. And I'm not trying to be mean, although now it's like reverse. They're like Huffington Post and Bloomberg. They're like, is there a skinny person privilege? It's like they're trying to glorify being unhealthy. If you're obese, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've been out of shape and I know people that are big, but it's a health risk. Everyone knows it. If I'm 10 pounds overweight, that's a little bit of a health risk. If I'm 50 pounds overweight, it's a little bit of a health risk. If I'm 100 pounds overweight, that's a little bit if I'm 200 pounds or 300 pounds overweight, that's a huge health risk. And even people that are fat know that. I'm sorry, it's just true. But not everybody has bad genetics or bad metabolism. Some people do. Some people have an advantage or disadvantage, but there's a way to lose a lot of weight, even if that. So the point I'm saying is, if you get to steal my money and dictate my life and my health, I'm getting a say in your health. I'm not going to allow millions of people to be obese, use billions upon trillions of dollars of health care that they actually wouldn't need if they actually took care of themselves. And on that note as well, first of all, let me not leave. I'm saying ending and beginning at the same time. I don't want to end that real quick. It's all love. I don't care what you're doing, but let me try to phrase this right so I don't misspeak. A lot of the American medicine system, including healthcare, there's no preventative health. There's absolutely none. Everything they tell you is a lie. They make you sick, and then you go there, and then they don't really tell you the way to cut it out. It's like saying you're going to cut a tree off, and then you just cut the leaves off. Like, they never get to the root of the problem with anything, including health. I mean, I listen to a lot of health gurus. With how much the news and the media and the health industry has lied to me already, I'm going with the health gurus. I'm sorry, and that's my choice. I'm not saying I'm not going to go get surgery if I need to, but I don't trust a lot of things that the health industry says. And I've tried and I've experimented, and I've found a lot of success in preventative healthcare. So tens of millions of people, if not hundreds of millions of people in this country, they don't do that. They come home from work, they sit on the couch, they eat a lot, they listen to terrible media, they watch terrible commercials, they eat terrible food, they listen to terrible Rachel Maddows and such, and then now I'm supposed to pay for their health care because they don't take care of their mind, body, or soul? That's not my problem. And I'm not saying it. I wouldn't even talk about it if progressives didn't think it. Oh, no, trust me. Let's steal $6,000 from you a month, anomaly, or a year. And it's going to be great for you. Trust me. I know everything. It's like, how healthy are you? And why do you get to dictate my health? I don't understand it. Also on that note, if you listen to Jimmy Dore or Kyle Kalinske, like I said, not often, but I do sometimes. I like their takes on Democrats. Ask them this question, please, because none of them will say this. If you have a system that everyone pays into, it's a big pot. You pay into it, you get it. You pay into it, they get it. There's hundreds of thousands of people that they're now, and there's millions of people in California, they're saying they want to pay for illegals. So it's not even like Obama, they're just paying for poor people. Now people could come into the country illegally and get free health care in California. They did a study recently in New York City, 300,000 out of 600,000 of them in the care unit were illegal immigrants. 50% were illegals, 50%. Oh, they barely make a scratch. No, they're people who don't have Social Security, they don't pay taxes, they don't have to pay taxes, and they could go to the health industries for free. It's been happening for a decade. And the people I know that are the most mad about it are Hispanic people that I know. I don't want to get too specific, but those are the people I know that are most mad. It's not racist. I know people from Mexico that are like, F this. Why do I have to pay $20,000 a year? And everyone comes in illegally and gets it for free. So the reason I'm saying this is please go run to your favorite progressive analyst. If you don't agree with my politics and policies, but you like me, ask Jimmy Dore or Kyle Kalinske why they don't say anything about the fact that illegal immigrants are obviously going to drag people down a little bit. It's going to be more expensive, and then it's going to be more expensive. The money's coming from somewhere. It's not all coming from the 1%, and even the 1% is, some people are not like responsible for everyone else, but why don't they do anything about why don't they say anything about illegal immigration? If you watch any progressive, from the realist progressive to the fakest progressive, none of them will say a word about the mass migration crisis in Europe. None of them will say a word about illegal immigration, yet they want to put me into a singular government-run plan where they take my money with no opt-out and just distribute it to anybody here. Isn't there one progressive? Don't you think there would be one progressive that was like, you know what? If we're going to do a singular government-controlled health plan that everybody's forced to pay into, and then we spread it around, shouldn't we be a little bit tougher on illegal immigration? Because if we bring in millions of people who don't pay into the system, it's going to take from the citizens, the poor and middle-class people that we're claiming to help. Is there a single progressive who says that? There's none. There's none. Because for some reason, in order to be progressive, you have to pander. You have to be extremely white and pretend like you love Latinos more than me, even though you're whiter than me. There's like some weird cult-like racial hierarchy, social justice warrior, oppression Olympics sort of thing where like, if you say the truth and you're like, hey guys, we're gonna go socialist on the healthcare, we're gonna do a single government-run healthcare, but maybe we should focus a little bit on illegal immigration, because if we have 10 million people, 20 million people come in who don't pay into the system, who take out, it's going to hurt middle class and poor people. Let's talk. You can't do that on the left. Ask Jimmy Dore. Ask Kyle Kalinske. Ask Bernie Sanders. Ask Tulsi Gabbard. Ask any of these people that consider themselves progressive. They'll have no answer for you. Oh, it's racist. Well, do any of them talk about the wall with common sense? Do any of them say, hey, I don't have a problem with illegal, like me, I'm not anti-illegal immigrants really. Like I'm not, you hear what I think about the wall and healthcare, but like, I'm not really mad at anybody, like to each their own, you know, people in Mexico and El Salvador got to hustle too. I get it. I'm not going to stop the hustle, but I'm not a complete goof and a fool. There's nobody on the progressive left that will tell you the truth. They insult your intelligence every time. If you ask Jimmy or Kyle about this stuff, and like I said, I like them. I'm not saying this to be mean. They don't have an answer for you. They're like Sean King light. And I don't like, you know, Sean King, he's the big racial advocate. They play that same little game all the time. They play that same identity politics game. They play that same, the border wall doesn't make sense, even though that should be an insult to your intelligence. You could say why you do want it or don't want it, why you like illegal immigrants, but the fact that even, I'm not trying to pick on him because I do like him. That's the reason I'm saying it. Jimmy Dore, I heard him say, oh, he made some illegal immigrant joke. He's like, oh, Trump, does he not know who his wife is? Does he not know who his family is? Like, does Jimmy Dore really not know the difference between illegal immigrant and legal immigrant? Is he that dishonest? Is he that foolish? Is he so wrapped up in the progressive ideology that he's maybe lost himself? But like, does he not know? You can make fun of Trump, but if you're joking and making the joke and the punchline of the joke is, oh, illegal immigrant's the same as legal immigrant. No, it's not. And every progressive knows that. And they should know that, yes, there is an economic effect on it. You could say it's better or worse or whatever, but there's an effect. And also, none of them, this is what bothers me about it. I agree. They say it's working so well in Israel or something, but it's like in Israel, you have a bunch of Jewish people who pay into the system, do pretty well probably, and they don't have that much, immigration. They're desperate for people to come there. They don't have enough people there. They're like, if you're Jewish, we'll fly you out and you can come live in Israel for free. Like, they want people there. They don't have as many illegal immigrants as we have. They have a huge wall, and it works very well for Israel. And we pay for a lot of it too, which doesn't make sense. If we could pay for their stuff, why can't we pay for our stuff? But it works in countries where there's not a lot of mass migration, and especially illegal migration. That's where, it works really well in Sweden and UK and France. It actually doesn't. It worked well for a little while because it was all United Kingdom people. It worked well in Sweden because it's a super small place. Everyone was paying into it, and it was a bunch of Swedish people who paid into the system. Now that you have mass illegal and refugee migration, it's not working in Sweden. Kids are getting kidnapped every day. There's literally explosions every couple weeks or every day. If you want to hear something that you'll never hear on the progressive left, and I don't say this, I'm not trying to compete. I'm just saying, if you want the truth, people go to progressives for the truth. You should ask them and hold them accountable, just like I want to be held accountable. Anomaly, you're afraid to debate. No, I have a debate platform. No one wants to debate me. Bring it on. I'll have you live stream on YouTube. I'll make you a star. But it doesn't work in Sweden. Google grenade attacks in Sweden. Grenade attacks in Sweden. You'll be, no pun intended, or actually pun fully intended, you'll be blown away by how many grenade attacks are in Sweden. Does that sound like it's working? Well, that doesn't have to do with healthcare. Well, it kind of does, because anywhere progressive, liberal, leftist ideology goes, like I said, find me a progressive, liberal, leftist that is pro universal singular government run scam, but they're anti, UN migration pact, and they're anti-illegal. They don't exist. There's a reason that this and this and this and this go hand in hand. It's not a coincidence. High taxes, big government control over health, media control, tech industry control, university control. These things go hand, 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 hand. I got 5 fingers of life. We're going to flip it. Because it's a system and an ideology of foolishness, naivety, which means being naive, and total control freaks. No, Anomaly, give me your money and I'll let you know how to be. Don't ignore the fact that I don't even take care of myself. Ignore the fact that I'm not even at peace with myself, yet I want to bring peace to the world, but I can't even love myself. Ignore all that. Just give me $6,000 and I'll make your health better. Trust me, I'm not a control freak. No. I'm not like the Democrats. I'm not like the Democrats. I just want to raise your taxes more and justify why stealing your money and bringing millions of illegals in who don't pay for health care that you're going to have to pay for. Trust me, it's going to make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it's not working anywhere. Alexandria, she who must not be named Voldemort, said, it's working in France. Open your eyes. Actually, don't open your eyes. If you open your eyes any wider, they're going to roll behind your head and you're going to go straight to hell. But open your eyes. It's going to work. And everyone's like, oh my God, she's so real. I'm like, what are you looking at? She looks like she needs like a week vacation and possibly some therapy, but it's not working in France. Like, literally, they're revolting against the president. They're revolting against the banks. They're revolting against really high taxes, a gas carbon tax, which is in every liberal progressive state. That's what they're revolting. It's not working in France. It works really well in the UK. First of all, okay, I'm getting too real here, but first of all, do you think of UK and think of really great health? Oh yeah, they have thrilling health and dental care in the UK. No one thinks of the UK like they have great health, because they don't have great health and they don't have great self-care. I'm not saying everybody in the UK, there's some great people there, but their dentistry is severely lacking in the United States. That's just a fact. And I don't know what they do. They all smoke cigarettes in Europe. Like, I just don't think of them as like, oh man, everybody smokes cigarettes. They're not that healthy. Anyway, no disrespect to people who smoke cigarettes. I'm just saying, stop stealing my money. The UK, it's not working. Rape is up. Female genital mutilation is up. Knife crime is up. Gun crime is up. Overall violent crime is up. Terrorism is up over the last 5 years. Every bad statistic that you wouldn't want happening, they're all up. Child rape and child grooming is at an all-time high. Why is it happening? Why is this happening to us? Is it because the white people from UK that we hate so much? No, it's not. And I'm not saying white people are perfect. They could be rapists too. I mean, look at some white people here. Anyway, it's because of the mass Islamic migration from countries where they have extremist radicals who don't like gay people and who don't give women the same freedoms that we give them. And I'm not hating on the religion of Islam. God bless my Islamic brothers and sisters who watch my channel. I'm just saying, to each their own. If people want to do that in Pakistan, Iran, and Saudi Arabia, I have friends in Saudi Arabia. They're lit. And all their names are basically, Khaled. Literally. Like, I know like 5 Khaleds from Muhammad, and they're dope. But that's their life over there. Like, and I'm not knocking it. Maybe it's better or worse. I don't know. But it's not compatible with what the creepy liberalism that's going on in the UK. It's just not. It's not compatible. So you bring in these people, all these statistics go up. The health industry is not working well in the UK. They're having record numbers of everything. And of course, wait times are going to go up. Now they're, like Trump says, they say, oh, he's so mean. He's like, you go in there, it looks like a war zone. The hospitals are filled with people getting stabbed and all this terrible stuff. Anyway, I don't want to get too emotional and use that as an advantage to my argument, although it's true. I have 25 other things to say. So it's not working in the UK. And like I said, someone said Roy mad as hell, bro. I don't even know who Roy is. I haven't looked at the comments. But Roy, if you're really mad, email me. You could come on my debate platform and we could do it. But the UK, all of their violent crime statistics are rising. People will say, well, what does that have to do with healthcare? Everywhere leftist ideology goes, there is unfettered mass illegal migration or unfettered mass UN, Merkel, Macron. Hey, what if we took over your country and told you how many hundreds of thousands of people to take from Syria? But half the leaders, or most of the leaders who do that, were the same ones who created the regime change wars and the problems. So they ruin Libya, they ruin Syria, and then they say, hey, let's ruin Europe. And then it's like, let's not do any of that. Let's not do that to Syria. Let's not do that to Libya. And let's not, take in hundreds of thousands of people, which, to be honest, I've talked to people in Syria. They're estimating between 20 to 40 to 60% of these people were ISIS members or pledged allegiance to ISIS. So you're taking in a bunch of extremists. Not everyone's extreme, but a lot of people are. And when you don't have a brain, for lack of a better term, like with Democrats, do Democrats say here, hey, we're going to make sure that the illegal immigrants coming from Mexico, let's make sure they're not getting human trafficked. Let's make sure that it's their actual father. Let's make sure that their fathers aren't criminals and that they should be we treat them the same as we treat fathers here. Do you see the Democrats doing that? Do you see the progressives doing that? Do you see a single one of them doing that? Please point out one. Somebody point out one leftist who will do that, who will say, hey, we're going to bring people in, but we're going to vet them carefully. Because that's the big, they say, no, they vetted the refugees. Of course they didn't vet the refugees carefully. Look how leftists act here. Is there a single leftist leader that is vetting illegal immigrants accurately or honestly or genuinely? None. That's why there's nothing for me. There's none. Ooh, the women are going to die, so we're going to ignore the fact that 80% of them are being raped and 80% of them aren't coming in with their actual fathers. They're coming in by themselves or with an other parent, and that there's a huge human trafficking problem. So the Separation Act was actually to separate so you don't leave a kid with a rapist or a murderer or someone who's not their father. Very simple logic. Does any leftist tell you? No, they don't have the capacity in their brain or in their soul to be this honest with you. They just don't. So it does go hand in hand. The reason I'm going on that, it does go hand in hand with health insurance. It's not working in the UK. It's not working in France. It's not working in Sweden. It's not working in Germany. It's not working in Canada. It's not working anywhere. And anywhere that it does work, it works temporarily and then it goes way south. Like it always does. Even Cornel West, I'm telling you, I will debate Cornel West. I'll debate Noam Chomsky. I'll make them both look like fools. And I'm not even saying that to brag. I'm actually embarrassed that I'm now more honest than Noam Chomsky and Cornel West. I know he's a professor at Princeton. He's got all the awards and such, but I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this like embarrassed for my country that I'm here and I could beat both of them in a debate, which I could. Cornel West has admitted on Tucker Carlson, he's literally admitted that progressive socialism that he wants to do has worked 0% of the time. This is not me saying this. This is Cornel West live on air admitting that it's worked 0% of the time. He knows this. Why is it going to work this time? Well, it's going to work because blah, 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 race, religion, gender. It's like, dude, are you really the smartest person on the progressive left? Like, I'm embarrassed at how not smart these people are. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm embarrassed that I'm smarter than a Princeton professor. I'm embarrassed that I can make Noam Chomsky look like a child. Because he's not honest. He's complaining about the Syria war. Trump better not pull the troops out. It's like, who are you, Noam Chomsky? You wrote 20 books about how the media is manipulating people. Then Trump comes through and says the same thing. We have to stop Trump. It's like, dude, he said what you said for 20 years, bro. And then he wants to pull the troops out of Syria. All of a sudden, you're a neocon conservative. You're like, we got to leave him. It's like, bro, I could make Noam Chomsky look like a little baby in a debate. I could make Cornel West look like a cool guy. He is a cool guy. I've actually met him in person. I've seen him one time. But I could beat him in a debate. And this is not a brag. This is a challenge. Because I don't see anyone with any logic anymore on the progressive left. No. Trust me, Anomaly. Trust me. If we take $8,000 from you, it's going to improve your health. Trust me. You can't buy tea or vegetables with that. You can't take care of yourself. You can't get chiropractic work. You can't work on your back in any sort of way. You can't take a spa day or vacation to lower your stress. Because stress, yes, does actually improve health. If everyone wasn't so stressed out all the time, people probably wouldn't be sick. I don't get sick that much anymore. And when I do, I don't get that sick. I heal myself very quickly because I'm not a psychopath who's bugging out all the time watching MSNBC and CNN. So I don't want to pay for people who don't take care of themselves and they watch toxic culture. They listen to toxic stuff. Everything they do is toxic, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm sick, but I need health care." Well, do it on your own dollar. I don't want to be forced to pay into it. And someone said, "It's so good, it's for your better." If it's so good, why wouldn't I want to buy it? If it's so good, why do they need an individual mandate? Have you ever heard of a hotel that's so good that they'll steal your money and bring you there and trap you there and won't let you leave? Because it's so good. Sounds like Hotel California, the song about escaping California from psychopaths. I don't know if that's really what it's by, but on a dark desert highway, individual mandate in my mail, one smell of Obamacare, stealing money from the middle class, putting them into poverty like they wanted to. Anyway, there's no such thing as a restaurant that's so good that they steal your money and demand that you go there. There's no such thing as a hotel that's so good that they steal your money and trap you there. There's nothing like that in the world that's so good that I won't just buy it, okay? If it's the best water, I'll buy it. If healthcare is really good, I'll buy it. They do that with even car insurance is a scam. I don't drive, so I don't pay car insurance. See, that's the difference. People say, well, you pay for car insurance? No, I actually don't. I saved thousands of dollars over the last couple of years by not switching to Geico. I don't pay for car insurance, and my life is great. I save a lot of money. I get where I need to go. If I want to drive, I could rent a car or something. But anyway, I don't have to pay for it. I get it. Health, it's important for sure, but I don't believe in it at this moment. Eventually, yeah, I'll want to get health insurance, but maybe by the time I'm 26 to 34, I want to save $50,000. And then say something happens to me when I'm 42 and I just saved $100,000 and now the surgery's $40,000. And if you had health insurance, it would be like $20,000 instead of $70,000. Like they never save you they never give you it for free. It's never free. The reason they can afford to give you it for cheaper is because they've already stolen all the money from everyone else and paid for millions of people on top of it. So they're stealing your money, redistributing it, and pocketing billions of dollars. Yeah, it's same with car insurance. My mom paid for car insurance for 30, 40 years. Here's a car insurance story. She paid into it. You need car insurance for sure. Yeah, for sure. She paid into it. She got in an accident. That wasn't her fault. The car insurance company finessed their way out of it. They found some little skeezy rat-like way to be like, oh no, we're not going to pay for it. So 40 years of paying for car insurance. She's probably spent, between paying for other people in the family at times, $100,000 on car insurance, and she's got to save $0 for it. And the one time she tried to use it, she couldn't use it. That sounds like something to me. First of all, that's a $100,000 scam. Second, that sounds like Obamacare. That sounds like universal, individual, let's steal anomalies money mandate. I've had health insurance for 2 years. I've saved $0. I've had to use it 6 times. Hey, let's run your health insurance when I'm at the hospital or I'm at the urgent care, whatever. You mind if I ask you how much money I'm saving? The copay was going to be $100 and it's $80. Okay, so I saved $20, but I pay $250 a month. So that's a net of negative $200, $230 for anomaly. So I saved $20, but I paid $230 for it. Okay, so I didn't save money there. I lost money. All right. Then I go to the doctor. Hey, you need nasal spray, this, that. Honestly, I didn't even need it, but you need this pill, you need that pill. All right. How much does this cost? It's going to cost, I go to CVS. Costs $40, $50, $60. All right. I asked them, hey, do you mind if I ask real quick, how much money did I save on that? How much money, how much discount did I get through my Kaiser Permanente or whatever? Hold on, let me do the math. And he does the math. It's full price. Oh, it's full price? Okay, so I didn't save anything on the medicine. So I didn't save anything on the visit. I didn't save anything on the blood work. I saved a total of negative $200. So I lost $200 for the month. So even if I go, one time I got hit in basketball. I had stitches. I had to get stitches. I go in and I run my healthcare, and they said, hey, do you mind if we don't run your healthcare? I was like, why? I pay $230 a month. Why would you not run my healthcare? Well, it's actually cheaper if you don't run your healthcare. It's only $40. So to get stitches is cheaper if I don't run my healthcare. Yeah, it's cheaper. Just don't run the Blue Cross. Don't run Kaiser Permanente. So I'm paying $250 a month to go to the urgent care when I'm bleeding, and they tell me don't use it because it's actually more expensive. So I'm paying into a system that's literally more expensive to use. Do you not get why I don't want to give my money? But I can't opt out of it because of Obama and little socialist communist rat boy Bernie Sanders. I want to steal your money. Get off my pockets, Bernie Sanders. Go live in your third vacation house and let your wife scam Burlington College. You know, sounds fun. A lot more fun than taking my money. It doesn't work. I don't want to pay for it. And under Trump's individual mandate, I don't have to, because I shouldn't have to. If I don't want to drive, I don't need car insurance. If I don't want health insurance, I shouldn't need it. No, but it helps your health. No, it doesn't. Do you think the ADA and the FDA is helping your health? Are you stupid? Are you naive? Are you foolish? Are you joking? Are you a terrible person who's pretending to be virtuous? Like, which one of the four are you? Do you not understand that they don't actually help your health? Do you not get that? From the food pyramid to the pills to the hundreds of thousands of people who are committing suicide now because they listen to mainstream media and overdosing on pills at an all-time high, and people are trafficking fentanyl into the country as they try to literally knock down the border so they can bring in more. Do you not get that the government and the media and the leftist operation is not helping your health? Is that not obvious? Yeah, I get it. By the time I'm 40, if something bad happens, it's going to save me some money. By that time, I'll have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have millionaire friends that are really good at math and really good at finances, and they all know that insurance is a scam. Anyone good at finances knows insurance is a scam. Anybody good at finance, unless they're, super rich and they just choose it, they know, because if you're good at finances, you understand compounding interest, and you understand how to make money off your money. Do you know why the insurance companies and the banks make trillions of dollars off your money? It's because they take your money and then they make more money, and then they make more money off the money, and then they make more money off that money, and then they give you back 1/8 of what they took from you. So they know that, but you're too foolish to know that, and you want to give it to the federal government now? If you take all the money that you've ever spent on any insurance and any sort of government or company scam that they force you into, and you knew how to financially invest it, you would have so much money that by the time you had to pay $50,000 or $100,000, you would have that money and more money. And some things are just expensive. I mean, the amount of people going bankrupt over health stuff is tremendous in the United States. You can look up mainstream media articles. They're saying more people are going bankrupt than ever because of the health industry. But what Bernie Sanders or none of these progressive communists will tell you is that a lot of them had health insurance. Health insurance doesn't even stop people from going bankrupt. Look up the percentage of people going bankrupt without health insurance through the health industry, and then look up the percentage of people going bankrupt with health insurance, because it doesn't help. I mean, so certain people are going bankrupt because of health insurance, and they can't opt out of it because then Obama or, communist Democrats come and take your money. That's what the ideology is. And people say, yeah, I get it. We're not living in Cuba or Soviet Union. I'm not trying to exaggerate. Like, yeah, I'm not saying it's like the Nazi regime reincarnated, but the communist ideology is we will take from you forcefully and we'll spread it around. But it never actually gets spread around. It's never worked, and it never will work. I mean, it's so obvious. I don't understand why, but no. Trust me, Anomaly, trust me, it works really well. No, it doesn't work in Europe. I'm sorry, it does. No, trust me. We just got to take it. And if we cut out all the middlemen and give it to the government, no, you're trusting the government. People who don't trust the government are trusting the government and cutting out all competition. It's like trying to feed the whole world and having one restaurant dictate it and everyone paying into it, and it's going to feed. It's not going to make good food. It doesn't make good health. It's basic common sense. If I say I want to make your health better like a snake, I'm going to make your health better. Don't ignore everyone else. I'm going to make it better. The way I'm going to make it better is by cutting out everyone else, stealing your money, telling you that you're not allowed to opt out, and I'm going to provide it for everyone so everyone has it, because that's what you need is my health care. I'm lying to you. If I say that, I am lying to you. You know how you get competition? Go to a city or a town, and they have 50 diners. You know what makes it good? Sometimes, yeah, every now and then you get a rogue, country has great food too. You go out and they treat you better, but they compete. They compete on prices. They compete on taste. No matter where you in, from Texas to California to New Jersey to Idaho, it's competition. It's free market competition. And guess what? If your prices are too high, no one wants to go to your restaurant unless you're really rich and then you make a killing. If your food is not good, you close down. If your marketing's not good, you close down. That's competition. That's the free market at work. I get it. It's flawed. I'm not a shill for capitalism. People say, Anomaly, you're a good capitalist. I'm not even a capitalist. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, I understand that there's flaws to capitalism. The banking system's a scam. The insurance system's a scam. The news industry's a scam. Almost everything's a scam. But it's also because people choose to consume that. I don't get scammed because I choose not to. Other people, it's convenient to get scammed. And even that, it's not that bad. Everyone's eating terrible food. Well, it's better than having to go hunt for a caribou. Why is everyone eating terrible food? Is it because we're oppressed and they're really mean? Not really. It's because people are stupid and lazy, and it's easy to be stupid and lazy. And 100 years ago, if you were stupid and lazy, you'd get murdered. But today, you could be stupid and lazy and live till you're 75. So it's a good time to be stupid and lazy. It's really not that evil of a plot. I'm not even blaming the microwave, industry or whatever, microwavable foods and stuff. It was convenient, and it's better than having to provide for yourself. And it is. I'd rather eat, alien chicken nuggets that taste like trash for 50 years than actually have to hunt for myself. That would suck. I'm not that conservative yet. Hopefully one day I'll be that much of a man, but for now, I'll take Uber Eats and not complain about it. You know, life is good, but it's competition. It's the free market. It's not closing all of that out to then say, no, we got your health. And like I said, and once again, just some food for thought. Just some food for thought, because there's one of, I'm sure people got mad and left already, but there's one of 60 things I said that you can just consider, and I guarantee you never thought of it. There's already people competing with insurance companies and government doctors or government or big corporation, whatever. They have these really cool health things where you can just pop up, pay per month, and you could leave whenever, you could stay whenever, it's free. It's the great thing about America. I mean, taxis really sucked for a while. Taxis were mean, they were rude, you know what I'm saying? It was expensive, they were driving like maniacs. Why were they doing that? Because they had no competition. They had no competition. Single payer healthcare is no competition. Everybody gets corrupt and everything gets corrupt when you have no competition. When you run the entire industry and no one can do anything about it, you can be corrupt and you always will be. I'm sorry. And it's not an angel coming down from heaven to make sure that the government doesn't do anything wrong with the health industry. It's the United States goddamn government. I'm sorry for saying the Lord's name in vain. Forgive me, Jesus, but come on. It's so obvious. So why did the taxi industry get better? Because we got cell phones and someone realized, wow, that sucks. Let me make a better one. And guess what? Uber and Lyft are incredible. It's way cheaper. It's way more affordable. They're way nicer. It's way cleaner. The drivers are way better. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. And now the taxi industry either has to get better or nobody wants to take a taxi anymore. Very simple free market at work. I understand that everything's not perfect, but my God, this is 1,000 times better than cutting out all competition. And I guarantee you that nobody from the top progressive analysts that you probably love, they don't have an answer for any of these things. Ask them, did you know that there's now doctors and private health industries that are popping up where they're outside of Kaiser Permanente, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and federal government, where you could pay to play and the care is really good, and it's like a new age system of health? Oh, no, I never heard of that. Or, yeah, I heard of that. Well, so don't you think that that's a pretty good solution? That's a good, well, yeah, but we want everyone to get covered, so we're going to steal everyone's money, we're going to crush the middle class, and we're going to provide it for everyone through the government. Like, do they believe themselves? Do Kyle Kalinske and Jimmy Dore believe themselves? And I'm not being mean. I really do like them, and I see a glimmer of hope sometimes with them, but it's like, do they believe themselves, or are they just so caught in saying, like, it's what Thomas Sowell said. It's why I said it at the very beginning. Many on the political left are so entranced by the beauty of their vision that they cannot see the ugly reality that they are creating in the real world. I don't think Jimmy Dore is a bad person. I've, had debates, conversations with people that work with him. Good people. I love Jimmy Dore. That's why I talk about him, because there's hope for him. I don't talk about Rachel Maddow or anything. She's long gone. But it's like, he's so entranced in the single-payer healthcare. He's so entranced in the vision of giving everyone free health, which is very virtuous. It's a very nice thing to want to give everyone healthcare and not just have the rich have it or the middle class. I get it. But they're so entrenched in that vision, they don't understand that it won't work. It will crush the middle class. It will crush the lower class and upper class. It's going to crush American citizens, especially when none of them have a spine to talk about illegal immigration and the effects that's going to have on the healthcare individual mandate. And also, when you cut out competition, prices don't go lower. Care does not go higher. Service does not go higher. People don't like it. Doctors don't like it. I know the Nurses United of Communist America or whatever likes it, but it's not a good idea. And I don't think they've ever been questioned about it, or I don't think that they've really thought it through, because they have this hamster wheel of 3 lines that they repeat all the time. No, we've done the studies. The Koch brother did the studies too. It goes left to right. We've done the studies. It's going to be cheaper. No, it's not going to be cheaper. Are you kidding me? It's going to be a ticking time bomb that gets more and more and more expensive over time. It's not going to be cheaper. The money is going to come from people, and occasionally they slip. Because Bernie and Jimmy, I know they're good people. Not Bernie, he's not a good person, but They like to say it's actually going to be cheaper, but when you actually confront them, they'll eventually admit, no, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. So what is it? Is it free? Is it cheaper? Or is it more expensive? It's more expensive. They know it, because if you corner them enough, they'll admit it's expensive, and then they'll say, but it's better. It's going to be cheaper because you already pay, and if we take the money here, it's going to save you money if something bad happens. Like, they know it's going to be more expensive. They know that it's not free. They know that it's not, I mean, maybe they don't, but they need to be questioned. And I understand why they feel the way they feel. That's all I want to say. I get it. I understand that providing health care, but end on these couple notes. Health care, which is health insurance, is not health care. Health insurance is not health care. Providing health care is not taking care of your health. It starts with before you get sick. It starts with before you get diseased. Some people can't help it, but to be honest, in America, I would say, without studying and getting an official number, probably 95% of the things that people go to the health industry for are preventable. If they took care of their minds and their bodies and their souls, they wouldn't be that sick all the time. So upwards of 90% of all of sicknesses that people have on the daily are preventable. Not trying to brag, but I didn't get a flu shot this year. I'll never get a flu shot. I don't do those. Vaccines for stuff that are really important, yes. Flu shots, no. I didn't get the flu. Everybody got sick. People who got the flu shot. People who got the flu shot got the flu. I haven't got the flu this whole winter. I haven't been sick. It's because I take care of myself, and most people don't. And luckily I do get sick too. I'm sure bad karma. I'll probably get sick next week now that I said this, but you don't need the health industry to actually be healthy. It's not the root of why everyone's healthy. So nobody wants to get to the root. I want to get to the root, because just providing money and services for people that are disgustingly unhealthy is not really that virtuous. I mean, we are disgustingly unhealthy in this country. Obesity, heart disease, and pill overdosing is at disgusting levels. Disgusting. Not virtuous, and everybody who takes care of themselves is ugly. Disgusting. It's disgusting how many people are dying over this. That's the root of it. So providing healthcare and money to everyone, it's not the beginning of it. It's glossing paint over something that needs an actual solution. So it doesn't actually help people's health. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Second, it's not free. It's not universal. It's going to cost middle class people money. And it's also forcing people into a contract. I understand that you want me to have healthcare really bad. Eventually, I'll make the decision for myself. Maybe I'll buy it. We'll see what happens with this individual mandate. But I want the right to save $4,000 to $20,000 over time and then use that money how I see fit. That's freedom. I want that right. You don't want me to have that right so you can give other people a right that they may or may not want. The amount of people that are uninsured, they don't account for all the people who don't want insurance. So 10 million people are uninsured in America. Well, maybe 5 million of them don't want it. And maybe the people who do want it, maybe they're piece of trash people. I'm not saying all of them. I understand that there's probably millions of people, if not more or less, people who really need health insurance and want health insurance that can't get it. But what they don't understand, like with homelessness, none of them need jobs. Like literally there's job programs. Either they can't, like I know this because I interact with people. I've done the research in person. I'm not saying people are bad, but the lie about homelessness is that they all need jobs. None of them need jobs. Either they have mental illness or a huge drug problem, one of the two. Like something's going wrong mentally, or they're just giving up. And, it's easy to give up sometimes, although I would argue it's hard. But none of them need jobs. Who's to say that 6 million of the people who need health insurance really bad, who's to say that 5 million of them could get jobs that provide health insurance that just don't work and don't want to work? A lot of people on welfare, they need help, for sure. Welfare saves lives, but there's also a lot of people just camping out on it because it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? So the statistics about how many people are uninsured are very, very misleading. It doesn't include people who don't want insurance, rightfully so, and people who are too lazy or, I guess chose the wrong path in life and don't want to get, and I'm not saying I want to help these people. I do help these people. I've helped many people in person, but I don't think the right solution is forcing all citizens into a mandate that they can't opt out of, that goes to the federal government. It's just like, I don't want to go through Red Cross to help poor people. No, Anomaly, we're going to help all the poor people. We're going to steal your money and give it to Red Cross. I don't want to give it to Red Cross because I'm not convinced that 95% of the money ever even gets to the people. So why don't you let me have my money and let me decide where to spend it? It's not up to you. It's not up to your choice. And they don't think about these things. And also, the quality is not going to go up. The quality is going to go down. And if you don't understand the basic common sense behind that, it's a lost cause. And I know probably people at this point, it's hard to get through to people. I do a really good job. Maybe this stream won't be the one. Maybe it will be. But I had people be like, I'm liberal. I never thought about the wall. But like what you said actually makes sense. And I can't figure out why to outside of all the jokes and my little emotional outbursts, take all the points that I've said throughout this. There's at least 10, 15 of them. And clash with your ideas and see if they make sense. I'm willing to have a debate. As I said, someone reach out so we can debate. But I watch people who are progressive. I like them. And I hear what they say, but they never cover any of the thing. Okay, have you thought about migration? Have you thought about the fact that if everyone buys into a system, but there's 20 million people who don't buy in and take out, that it's going to negatively affect working families? Have you thought of that? I don't think that they've ever thought of that. And if they haven't, they need to. And if you confront, I'll give you one example before I leave. I went to Dave Rubin's show yesterday. Thanks to my friend Jared, he got an extra ticket and was like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "Sure." So I went to Dave Rubin's show, and one of the guys there said he was progressive. His something Weinstein, not Harvey. I think Eric Weinstein. He's a progressive, but he's very logical, rational. And Eric Weinstein, he said he's talked about climate change. So I raised my hand, and they almost didn't pick me, and I made a scene. So they let me ask my question. Dave Rubin called on me, and I asked him. I said about climate change because he mentioned it. I said, have you looked into the research that NASA this December and a year ago and 2 years ago, they've said multiple times that the ice is actually not mass gain. It's not losing ice. It's actually gaining ice. This is not me. This is not conservatives. This is NASA, the same people pushing climate change. They're admitting that the ice is actually growing. And then I said, are you aware that there's active volcanoes under certain ice glaciers? Are you aware of these things? And are you aware that there's, possibly, although I agree with you that we're doing some wrong things, are you aware that there's certain things that are out of our control that aren't being discussed? He said a little answer, he said this and that, blah, blah, blah. I agree with you, this and that. And then we spoke afterwards for a little bit, and he basically said to me, because I'm like, let's have a debate about it sometime. And he was like, he basically admitted that I was probably right in a way. He said, I believe in climate change and I understand this and that. He said, but I do understand how much that academia lies and that the papers could be full of shit. He literally said that to me. So when you can confront a progressive socialist, and not a lot of, to be honest, conservatives do a miserable job about it. That's why I'm here. They don't do a good job. And no one does. So that's why people win, because they never get confronted. But when I confront their theories with all of these points, a lot of times they'll just be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it could be full of shit. But like, have you ever heard a progressive say that climate change might not be real? I've never once heard it. I've never heard someone on the left say climate change might be fabricated a little bit, and the academia might be fabricated, and the fact that there's volcanoes and the ice is growing, we might be misled a little bit. Although clean energy is good for sure. You'll never hear it. But if you confront them with the truth in a logical way and put points that are almost undebatable, they have no choice but to say, yeah, you might be right. So that's why I'll have a climate change debate with someone. I'll have a healthcare debate. I just don't know that the progressive leaders that I mentioned before, I don't think they've ever been questioned in this way. They've been caught in the echo chamber, and then maybe like a Charlie Kirk or something, no disrespect, but like someone who's like to the books conservative have questioned them, and it wasn't really a full circle that made them, think they were wrong. But like with this, I'm willing to have the single payer, and hopefully, I hope this at least got one person to think a little different. And I know my border wall video, someone said, I really don't like the wall or whatever. I don't care about illegal immigration. But like, once you said that, I thought about it, and I couldn't think of a reason that you were wrong. That's what I'm asking for. And I'm willing to say, do you think I'm wrong? But when it comes to the illegal immigration, the mass we're going to buy out of the system, not pay into it, the, taking money with people that don't want it. I don't know. It's been literally like an hour live stream. I've made 20 different points, but take all of those points and try to figure out why they don't make sense. I'm not saying I'm the be all end all. Figure out why they don't make sense. I'm sure there's one or two things where I misspoke that you could probably disprove, but take all of them and say, why does that make sense? Why does that make sense? And if you find that 10 out of 15 things that I said you can't disprove, then what are you really fighting for? I'll read it again. Many on the political left are so entranced by the beauty of their vision that they cannot see the ugly reality that they are creating in the world. There's two options. Either you're trying to lead for truth and good, or you're trying to be right. And if you're a conservative and you're just trying to be right, you're not really fighting for good. You're going to eventually fight for evil. If you're a progressive liberal, although your intentions are good, if your concern is being right about universal health care or pushing universal health care, and your top concern is not being honest and accurate and genuine and completely sure that it's not going to do harm to a lot of people, then you're not a force of good. You're going to become, if not already, a force of evil. And a lot of people, you know, we have our flaws, we do good things, we do bad things, but you have to really think about this stuff unless you're just a team player. And I said that on both sides. It's like anytime I question conservatives or normally don't say that, it's like, are you trying to be a good person? How come nobody wants to have self-accountability or self-awareness where you say something and don't say that? I'm not saying it's everyone, but we got to think of these things or we're eventually going to do the wrong stuff. So overall, hopefully that made sense. Those are the three stories. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Someone said, where's your tea? I already drank it. I need some more. I need to eat. Honestly, I barely ate. Just a banana with almond butter today. But I ate terribly yesterday, so it's all good. You know, keep the mind healthy and the body will follow. But thank you guys for supporting. If you don't do anything, sign up to my free email list. If you don't do that, check out my YouTube. I take these clips and I chop them into 3 segments so they're easier, more digestible, and also more shareable. So if you have someone and you're like, oh, I want to show them the border thing that I normally said, you can watch it on YouTube and it's shorter and easier for them so they don't have to sit through 5 minutes of me shouting out, you know, Australia or Canada. And it is what it is. So thank you guys. Thanks to everyone supporting on DonorBox and Patreon. I appreciate you guys. I talked to Ruben last night. It was at a show. Hopefully he has me on. Thank you to everybody reaching out to Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin, because I think eventually they'll have me on if you guys keep reaching out. And they were talking about creating a new Patreon. They said it was going to take a while. So we'll see. I'm talking to other people who are designing websites and stuff. But talk is cheap, so we'll see. But for now, I appreciate Patreon and DonorBox. It works. And keep you tuned in. Thank you guys. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. You know, I do what I can. I'm just I can't lie, and I don't want to be right. I want to be truthful. So at any point in my life, if someone has a point that makes sense, I want to consider it. I just don't know how at this point I can justify them taking my money when the government's already taking too many taxes. I'm sorry, I'm not paying for this stuff. So thank you guys. Have a good day. I'll be back eventually. Someone said real quick before I leave, I said, my son wants to tell me that he loves Bob Ross. Thank you. God bless your son. He gets the last rare shout out. Bob Ross.